Hello, I'm Dr. Kenn Gordon, spiritual leader for Centers for Spiritual Living. I want to talk today about deepening our faith. What I want to do is I want to be able to share with you some very strong ideas on the best way to be able to do it. Dr. Holmes in the Science of Mind textbook talks about the need for us to be able to prove our own principles to our own selves, to be able to have our own demonstrations and recognize them and see them when they take place. One of the things that I've noticed and that I've seen in the world around me, and I've observed in other people as well as myself, is that quite often what happens is when I do create a manifestation, when something miraculous happens in my life, when something that I set an intention and a principle to create and bring into being actually occurs, what I find myself is I find myself doubting it and talking about the coincidence or how it could have happened anyway or how it might have happened. And the simple fact of the matter is that it is a direct reflection of the treatment, the spiritual mind treatment, the prayer, the affirmative prayer that I have done and that I have put into mind. I learned from my teacher, Dr. Tom Costa, years ago, that when one puts a treatment into action, when one puts a prayer into action, that one must celebrate the demonstration that comes from that particular prayer. This is exactly the way and the method that I find is best for me to be able to deepen my own faith and to be able to observe that the principles that I espouse and the principles that I hold on to and believe actually become a reality in my experience. I can recall years ago when I was farming and things were a little bit tight and it was a little tough to make money. I remember waiting for a mail to come in to bring me some money, and every day I'd walk across the street from my farm to the mailbox and I'd open up the mailbox and I'd look through it and all I'd get is more bills and more bills. So I'd go back and I'd do more prayer, I'd do more treatment, and I would sit there and the next morning go out and do it again. And I can remember coming back and all I was doing was cursing and kicking and swearing and saying how horrible it was that I would have such a manifestation after doing all that beautiful treatment work as I went into it. Then one day when I crossed the street and I got to my mailbox, I opened up my mailbox and I looked inside, and sure enough there was another sheaf of bills that I went through, and as I went through the bills, there, lo and behold, was one bill that had come in a straight plain envelope, and on it was an unstamped 35-cent stamp. And I remember sitting there when I looked at it and thinking, oh gosh, 35 cents, wahoo, I'm looking for a lot more than that. And I started to walk back across the street, and then I remembered what Dr. Tom had told me, and I recalled that I was to celebrate my manifestations. So I remember that time of adjustment, that sweeping time of a change of mind that just kind of goes, and it's done. And I can remember walking across the street with it, and by the time I came inside the house, I could say to Deborah, Deborah, look what I have here. I have 35 cents that came in an unstamped envelope. And lo and behold, what happened was the next day and the next day and the next day, the checks began to flow. They didn't begin to flow for any other reason than I changed my mind. I didn't attract or manifest them through my treatment work necessarily. I attracted and manifested them through the changing of my own attitude as what my expectations in life were. When I was expecting that I was not going to get anything, I got nothing. When I began to expect I was going to get something and be grateful for it, I got everything. This is not only the case just in receiving checks in the mail. It's also the case in everything we have in life. If we do not expect that we're going to receive love, then we won't get it. But when we step into that attitude of expectation and joy, that attitude of celebrating the principles that we espouse and teach, celebrating the power of our own prayer, celebrating the spirit within each and every one of us, then at that particular time, everything flows to us. This is a good way, in my opinion, to be able to deepen my faith, and it would be a good way to deepen yours. Look around you at the experiences that you have and begin to celebrate the manifestations and the things that you want to enjoy in life. Look around and begin to understand that your attitude is what controls what enters into your life. When we do this, what we will do is we will build a foundation, and on that foundation we will awaken. And from that awakening, we will become the true person that we were born to be. Please know that you're loved, please know that you're honored, and thank you.